um untagged, I should say, that was found buried under a prison. Um, Families is just discovering this. People didn't even know that they were dead, so this wasn't a graveyard.
Man, we
Um,
just
it was just bodies, and these was bodies that was collected from whatever the forensics say up to 2016. So these are all recent. They're not saying if it's prisoners or if it's just regular common citizens, but it was buried up under a prison nonetheless. And this is my first time hearing about it. I don't know if y'all heard about it. And I talked to, one of my co-hosts is from Mississippi. I haven't
right.
talked to him all week. But I'm gonna talk to him this weekend, and I'm gonna talk to him about Mississippi. But I'm wondering why Negroes not speaking out in the social media age if the media not gonna do it. And now you got to figure that they not speaking out because they probably terrified down there. It's not above Mississippi to go head on and be the one, whether Turning Point directed it or not. It's not above them to go over and hang Negroes or sever Negroes or lynch Negroes. So whether they did it in the name of Charlie Clark, somebody need to keep an eye out on Mississippi and the southern states that things is going on that we are not aware of, and that they scared to speak out on. And I can't blame them either.
I find it just strange as hell in this year 2025. Okay, we still talking about people of our ethnic background being lynched. Okay, I mean being lynched, and still going unreported. Unjustified and nothing. And that I just
Unreported, you don't catch them on
undocumented.
documents or it's manufactured. They call them suicides.
They call them suicides. I find that
You
just
know, my when are we going? Man, I don't know. I try to because here's the thing. This stuff gets you riled up inside,
yeah.
and so now I'm focused on why aren't we going ripping things apart, like literally physically,
Like I said,
versus
we
what I
looking at
should
it.
be focused on, which is moving me and my family forward financially and everything else. I can't do both.
Can't be do both. It is. I mean, honestly, the only we gotta rip the thorn out our side. We gotta rip the thorn out our side. America could let person grow so much. Historically, y'all a little older than me. And I'm in Michigan. I'm in Michigan with multiple families that has generational wealth. Do y'all know of any black family throughout history that has attained generational wealth beyond their great grandchildren, or great grandchildren?
Mm.
Gotta know it's a reason. It's not because of Negroes what they call lazy niggers. You know what I'm saying? You get the best of your Negroes, you get the worst of your Negroes, but no one can be able to produce generational wealth in America.
Yeah. We do know that the past history of this country has definitely interfered with passing on and wealth. And what they really have worked on is limiting our knowledge and understanding thing. Or I, until Dr. Noah Shelton told me the word astute, I didn't really understand what that word was. And I want
Oh,
you
oh
all to,
shit.
I wanted to really understand when he said we lack astuteness. I think when you really, really think about it, it has to be something that has been in something like DNA or something of the our men not being able to, we went through 6 or 7 decades, and I'm only talking about our men. It is something unnatural not to be able to operate as a natural alpha to protect your wife, your mother, your family, your children. And do you realize that that has happened? That is something. When my father came to my 50th birthday, and I'm a surgical technologist, and I did a fundraiser. All right, and at that fundraiser, I had about 200 some people come to my fundraiser, and it was very diversified. multiple people, men and women, all over, all from the medical profession. And some of my military friends came. It was at my 50th birthday. And at the end of the event, it was a fundraiser. I gave the money all away, though we found it and gave it away to a nonprofit organization. But that was my father came to me at the end. He said, son, kind of blew me away when he told me this. He said, son, he said, if I am thankful for being here. He said that, but I need to tell you, you knew that you was a man. You spoke like a man. You had multiple people, at a roasting. It was a roasting. I was being roasted by a number of different people. He said, but the ongoing thing that everybody was saying about you for multiple different demographics of people, professional level and everything, is that you represented yourself and you were a man. He said, son, we were only 150 years out. He said when granddaddy turned 50, he wasn't even considered human. They didn't even treat him human. I was like, wow. He said when I turned 50, I was still being considered a boy. He said, here I am seeing my son who turned 50 and you speaking and talking like a man who know himself. He said, we are just now evolving. We still got years. Do y'all hear what I'm saying here? He said that we still have evolving years to develop that into our what? Legacy. Carl, do you understand what I'm saying? Carl, you older than me. Do you understand
Bro, this is amazing. Like, this is like a good rap album because I'm hearing this story again, but I'm hearing nuances
pieces that nuances of it, right?
that I'm sitting here and I'm like, now it's hitting me different.
Yeah, you heard me talk about it before, but you're hearing it a little different, right? Yeah.
But to hear, I mean, because I don't know if you emphasize the age 50 for each generation. Time I heard this, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, that's deep.
Yeah,
from granddad to dad to you,
right?
That evolution.
That evolution, right?
Not being considered human.
Yes.
A full human to not being considered a man or at least being called a boy.
Yes.
To now be
seeing his son in an environment.
And he's seen both the higher up and the younger. He's seen it both. Wow.
Yeah. That's the part. Carl, did you catch that?
I caught it. I was talking to my son the other night. He was concerned about this Charlie Kirk issue. I was going to say icon and all these people memorialize him in a certain way, but he was concerned about how the church is getting involved with this this movement, and he had a epiphany similar to what you are saying. He said, "Dad, you was in the era of civil rights, wasn't you?" I said, "Yeah, I was." I said, "I was born in '59, so I was a youngster at that time." I said, "But I do remember going downtown. Had to go down to the basement of this particular department store. Had to go down into the basement in order to put jeans on. Can you imagine that? Me, Sean?
Wow.
So my son, he's 48. He's 48 years old. He said, "Dad, we not that far removed from this." I said, "You're right." I say, so I do understand the young people sentiments and so forth and so on. And to get back to what you were saying also, just think about it. Our people were being conned through convict leasing. Mm-hmm. They were being conned through sharecropping. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden in 1913, 1914, they get the government to come in and take money from them. Mm-hmm. The fruit of their labor called income tax. Mm-hmm. and called capital gains. Can you imagine? Can you imagine they the first generation of wealth, and Uncle Sam coming and taking 20 to 25% of your wealth,
Exactly.
and you just now starting?
Right.
But go ahead, Michon.
Nah, you right on it. And I wanted to ask you, have you ever, when you went down to the Bay, was your parents there, your father there?
Yeah, my mother and father, my mother and my father were divorced.
Okay.
That during that time, she was a single woman, single mother at that time, and me and my brother, she took us downtown to shop at this particular department store that welcomed Negroes, but we still had to go to a certain place to try things on.
Mm, 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 mm. I remember in Florida, it was a water fountain, and I remember me asking my mother I couldn't go to that water fountain. I was like, "Why?" They were like, "What do you mean you can't go?" It couldn't go, and because she was telling me, it had white on it, white only. I was like, "You had to go to the colored." I like, "Oh," and I remember that. And I remember as a kid, I like. But I also remember something else. And going back to, okay, when I was just talking about my father, I was talking about my adopted father. But I'm going to talk about my actual father, because my actual father. This is in the book too. So I said I had three fathers. Okay, I had a father who was a pimp. I had the father. I had my seeding father, the one that seeded me, and then I had the father who was the pimp. My mother brought him in my life, and then I had the one name that I have now, last name Daniels. But I'm gonna go to the one because something happened. Me and him actually had a conversation because I found out, in my if you read my book, it's in there. My natural father didn't want to have me. My mother had me anyway and gave me his middle name. So I became older and I asked him about that. I asked him about that, said, Dad, I found out, that mom said that you didn't even want to have me. Why didn't you want to have me at the time? And this is interesting. I had to respect his answer, man. He's living. I mean, he's living in the time. He was born in 1940 something. Okay, so you have to respect what he said. You know what he told me? He said, "Nah, I didn't want your mother to have me." He said because I was having a problem and I didn't really want to bring no children up. I didn't want to have no kids. He was struggling in being a man. He said he didn't feel like he was a man. And why would he want to bring kids into a world that he didn't feel that he was a man? That's deep in it. That's the reason why
Yep.
he wanted her to abort me. He didn't want to,
External and internal issues.
yeah, he wanted her to abort. And the thing is that was kind of the thing that kind of brought, because she had me anyway, and that he was angry at her. She didn't, he didn't want her. He didn't want. And come to find out, I learned later, my father was the youngest of the sons, and I was separated because my mother separated me, so I was separated from him for 55 years, and Joe was around when I just found I just through ancestry.com, one of my father's nieces, my father's brother's daughters made contact with me in 2019 when right after I got fired. Was a lot going on, Joe. Got fired in 2018. My grandmother came in my life in 2019. Joe, man, I got a story, man. I just hear there was a lot going on. Godly. And then filed a lawsuit in 2018. And golly, was a lot going on. So anyway, I get some phone.
Don't forget 2017.
Oh, smack. Yeah, thank you. 2017, descendants of American slave, we marched on the state capitol, the terminal. We got our article and everything. Nobody, hey, HB, you don't know who you're talking to. You call me a coon. You don't know who you're talking to, bro. But my organization organized as descendants of America say, ADOS, ADOS or D. We was actually
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insight, and epiphany.
I'm only
discussing and
messing with
reviewing
you.
everything others
Anyway,
aren't afraid
in
to talk about.
2017, yeah,
It's all about what is right
and a
for
couple other
us.
things, but
I ain't your
with
new
the
black.
lead
I ain't your old black.
organizer.
I ain't
we
your
organized
future black.
a march
America.
I got a video on that as well. I can see that video where Dr. Noah Shelton, the author of American British Black Book, he spoke on the state capitol on why we needed to strike down color and we needed to come from under this country's color construct. So it's a very good thing. So anyway, thinking about the multiple things that you go through in your trials and your tribulations and everything. When I asked my father about my natural father that he did not want to have me, and to hear him tell me that he did not feel like he was a man and he didn't want to bring no children in the world. And then when I finally found my grandmother after 55 years, I meet up with her and found out that I'm the oldest of all her grandchildren. And she said she's 102 years old. She said, this is what my grandma told me. She said, I asked God not to take me from here until I met my oldest grandchild. She says, I didn't know it was going to take this long. Man, I got all emotional, man. My grandmother, my name is Meshorn, Meshorn. My grandmother pulled out a picture. I got a copy of that picture. She knew she'd been praying for me, dude, all this time. 55 years, me being separated from her. She pulls out a picture, and this is very important to me. When she turned the picture over, my name was spelled correctly. She knew who I was, man. Y'all, do you understand when you find someone who's part of your lineage and she knew who I was and she spelled you my oldest grandchild. And I have been praying for you for 55 years. You left. I have not seen you since you was 5, 6 years old. You know how it was just emotional for me to meet my 102-year-old grandmother, and then she died the next year. She said that she stayed around and asked God that she wanted to meet her oldest grandson. I want to meet and then she says with the tears that I didn't know it was going to take this long. Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah, when I say that my father told me that we only 150 years out where we evolving, brothers, I want you to know we're still evolving. I'm only talking about our demographics of men. I don't give a damn about anybody else. We are still evolving as a demographics of people in the United States of America. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anybody can hear what I'm saying? The best of who we are is still have not been known yet. Do you understand?
Wait, how are you a Christian? You still believe in evolution?
Evolution for hold on,
what are you
whoa,
talking about?
evolution for white folks, right? They did come from monkeys. They have every characteristic.
Hold on. I don't want to move the conversation to talk about monkeys.
How do you so you don't think that we are evolving as a demographic of people?
No, we were not given a fair shot. Evolving? No, I wouldn't say. Like, evolving from what? From explain this evolution theory that you're trying to put on black folks.
No. Actually, Negro. No, Negro. Actually, please do tell. And I'm not. I'm not being quite serious here. Please do tell why you don't think we are evolving. I got please.
I
Well,
didn't say no.
I don't know
I asked you a question as a Christian man because you said that you're a Christian.
No,
Why
I said
are
no.
you
No,
talking
I said
about
I'm
he
a
wasn't
believer.
talking about that type of
Wait.
evolution.
Now you're gonna jump me now. Now you're
I
gonna
said
jump
I'm a
me. I ain't so
believer.
black.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, you know that the average Christian does not believe in any form of
I'm a
evolution.
believer.
We're not, but we're not
fine,
even
a
talking
believer,
about
a
that
man
type
of the
of
faith.
evolution, dude.
Hold on, Negro. When you say evolution, what form are you talking? Are you talking about
That's
any
what I'm
form of
trying to
evolution?
figure out. That's why I was asking him what form of
he wasn't
I want you to
reform- he
explain
wasn't-
it.
he wasn't-
No,
he
I
used
didn't
the
say
word.
the
He used.
statement,
wasn't
followers.
reforming.
He
He
used the
wasn't-
word evolving. He used the word
I said evolving.
evolving.
Yeah,
You
Go
said
to the
evolving.
Webster Dictionary. Go to the dictionary and find out evolving. What evolving means, sir. It's not just evolution. The one you taught in school.
I was
It's called.
asking
He
him
said
about what.
evolving. No, you
So,
should ask
Carl,
before. You should
that's
ask
what I
before you
did,
assume.
Carl.
No, you
No,
didn't.
Mr.
you
Carl, yes, I
assume.
did.
You
I said,
assume
what do you
first.
mean? This is what I said. You could play back the recording. I said, what do you mean by evolving? That's
No,
what
you
I said
didn't.
with the
Nope,
initial
nope.
question. Yes, it was.
No. You said you mean to tell me you are Christian still evolution? What kind of
Yeah, that's what you said. That's literally
what you said.
Oh, all right,
You-
fine. Then I'll rephrase the question. What do you mean by evolving? Please explain all of that from your perspective, since you're throwing this concept out here.
And I'm going to before
Okay.
because before I respond, I need for you to tell me what is evolving to you.
Well, here. Let's
I
hold
didn't
on.
say evolving. Like what the heck you talking about? I never said
Let's say
evolving.
this. Hold on. Let's say this. I don't know if Negro heard everything, but Mishon is talking about and he told a story before you got here, and that story consisted of how his father at a event gathering with Mishon and friends and other people on Mishon's birthday, and how Mishon was getting roasted, but the consistent theme was about how Mishon is a man that stands on character and business and stands up for himself. That was the consistent theme in this roasting. And his dad came to him after the party and said, and again, Mishon was turning 50 at the time. His dad said, when granddad turned 50, he wasn't even considered a full human. And his dad said, when he turned 50, he was still getting called boy. And here it is, Mishon turning 50, and he's getting recognized as a man. And so from that came the idea. His dad said, listen, we're only about 150 years out from still getting called a boy. 150 years out. So that's where the thought process of
evolving came from.
We're still evolving as the demographics of people.
Okay. Wait.
Real quick, Negro. Followers, you really think that white folks view you as a full human being right here in 2025?
I want to make sure.
I think you missed the conversation.
No. He was here for the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the
problem. That's the problem. That's the problem.
No. Ask the question again. I want to make sure. I don't want to interrupt how you just asked that. Ask me that question again.
You believe that white folk view you as a human being, a full human being in 2025?
I just wanted to make sure I heard you right. Okay.
That's the problem. He was here and he heard the conversation. He still came up with that question.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I can't believe.
Well, that's because HBK knows all white people, right?
No. It's even worse than that, Joe.
I'm just checking.
No, it's worse than that. For him to ask me that question, okay, let me respond to you this way. First of all, my existence to exist don't come from them, okay?
Right.
I don't need them to validate.
So you wasn't talking about them then, right?
You're right. I don't
Okay, I
need
got
them.
you.
Yeah, right. I don't
We're gonna
need them
take
to
that other
validate
O
my.
away. So
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you down to a own. You on your way.
yeah, yeah.
We took that O away.
Oh, smack. Well, I'm glad you measuring and
It's
taking it all away
disappearing.
from.
It's
See,
disappearing.
yeah, disappear. See, you just getting to know me.
I mean,
But some
because
of
you
my
were
other partners
talking
already
about
been knowing me. Nah, brother. I know. I first of all, I don't need their signing off on me. Okay,
mm-hmm,
my existence don't come from them, man.
not at
That's
all.
that's the problem. That's the problem. Even when I talk to my dad, my dad and everything, they still, even my dad he admitted that he never walked in his manhood like seeing me walking in mine. He admitted it.
But even with that, the story was specific to a specific group of white people that you work with in the
Yeah.
medical field that were there at the party.
Roach,
So you
right.
may not have, I mean, I don't know all white people in the world. So I
Right.
don't know what all white people think. But you may not have all, or you may not, if you're stuck in the media thinking about how the media poisons things, then you worried about, oh
The
well,
media didn't
all
give me my views on white folks.
no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, however you poise that, he was talking about a specific group of people that were there at the
I do
party.
remember him saying the stating that, but I just because I know he was talking about his book and the basis of his book too. So I wanted to know how far that
Yeah,
reach was.
yeah. And again, if you remember, I've talked about people have not been able to comprehend my book. I say the title of my book is I Am Not Your Black America. People here, did that Negro just say he ain't black? And that's not what the title of my book says. Okay. Yeah, that's been the problem since I arrived on this X space. The title of my book says I Am Not Your Black, comma, America. And a damn thing in my book telling me I'm not black. Okay. Yeah, that's not what
you're
my
right.
book's saying.
You're right, but so long as you clarify that to those who can't read beyond the comma, then it'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay,
that's been
okay. Negro has
You
his
gotta
hand
you
up.
gotta see O taken away from me, and that's not easy. So
He- Ne-
you on the way.
I'm glad that I'm meeting some qualification of yours and everything. Go
Ne-
ahead, Negro.
Okay,
address
so
Negro,
no,
address the topic first before you go into
okay,
what you want to talk about. With family business so open, what do we do to change, control a better narrative?
okay. My thing is to have or us teaching what we need to okay, so with family business to open, what to do, what do we do to change and control better narrative? It starts off at home, right? And what I mean that it starts off at home is teaching our children the truth about what's going on in society and our place in society so that we can combat the injustice that's going on with our community. We cannot be dependent on the dominant society to teach and educate our children effectively, especially when they want to remove certain aspects of our history, culture, and etc., and not tell the truth about our condition. So I really think that all that stems at being at home, teaching it at home, having a sound father, having a sound mother. So that will be kind of one of my talking points in regards to that. So one of the things that I did was more like evolving. They said that evolving, it does mention evolution, but the aspect that I was more or less looking into was the term of incrementalism, right? What the dominant society has done is incrementalize the advancement of our people. And when I hear this evolving thing and stuff like that, it leads into that ideology and that logic, which could be viewed as offensive. Them not giving our entire rights would cancel out that. So that's something that's an interference of man impeding on another man's rights. So that was the reason why I was looking at it kind of slanted eyed a little bit. And also, it goes on to say it's a process of developing or change gradually over time. which ties into incrementalism. That was the point that I was more or less getting at, and why I was asking specific questions to get the intentions and the thrust of what you were saying.
I'm just trying to understand. I'm just trying to understand. Do you think the evolving? Everyone on here is evolving. I think I'm believing everybody on here is evolving. Do you believe that our evolving is depending on what people allows us to do?
I say that I think I would prefer the term advancement, right? Because that is something that we have used as
Okay,
a people.
so you always
Wait,
like to
come on, you
change.
asked the question and you're gonna cut me off.
Yeah,
in the
no,
middle
do you like to change the
because you're
ball? So
throwing
I'm
me
just
off,
saying
man.
advancing. Okay, advancing. Okay, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying
no,
I'm
no,
acknowledging
no.
your word.
Advancing,
Advancing.
no.
Okay.
I'm just saying evolving is what white people, that comes out of eugenics. It comes out of their line of thinking, right?
Okay.
Their ideologies, and it's more like an ideology that I feel that it's a more of a white person's ideology than it is a black Americans. And that was kind of why I was asking these type of questions, because white people believe in more eugenics than black people do. All right.
Is that right? I mean, so is that a code
Do you
that
want me to? Do you
I'm
want me
just
to
wondering
give
because you just
Pew?
said
Do
you
you want
made
me
a
to give Pew
general
research?
statement.
Wait. Do
You
you
just
want me to
made
give
a
Pew
general
research?
statement that so you
Wait.
made
Do
a
you want me to
general
give Pew
statement that
research?
because of the color of my skin, if I don't agree with that, I'm off code. I'm just entitled file.
I never said that you're off code or not. I was more or less understanding the concept, and why would you want to use the dominant society's interpretation towards the advancement of our people instead of using what our people use when it comes to the advancement of our people? That
I
was
never
more or
knew
less
that
where
it
I
was
was trying to understand where I was coming.
I didn't know that there was a meeting of minds of my people that we supposed to only use certain. I didn't know that. You telling me something I didn't even know.
No, the thing is, I'm pointing to historical things like Booker T. Washington, who you quoted, talks about advancing the race and the ethnicity. Right? I could point to various different intellectuals that
So
you even talked about.
Yeah,
Like,
so
here we go again.
we have a so there is a prerequisite a book or some type of rule book that I'm not supposed to use the word evolving or anything because I'm being European eccentric.
I'm sorry. And I'm not even the host, but this is the most ridiculous argument I ever
Yeah, I
heard in
know.
my
That's what
life.
I mean. That's
Y'all
what it
need to
sounds.
move on.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
JV has his hand up. JV, talk to the title with family business so open. What do we do to change, control a better narrative?
Great title, great question. How you guys doing? Good.
Hey, what's up, JV? I thought you fell out with us, man. I said JV ain't coming back.
I love you like I like cooked food. It's all right.
Go ahead, JV. Good back. Good to
Yeah,
see you,
so
bro.
yes, sir. So we do to portray a better narrative. Um, I think we have to understand not geopolitics, but domestic politics, civics. It's important to understand civics, and I think when I know when I say that, you have to understand how resource distribution works. And I want to reference my good brother Marion Barry. When he was in office in D.C., although they outed him for smoking crack, when he was in office, he changed the contracting from I think it was like 20% black to upwards of 60. He allowed a space where black people had these regions like these counties that were actually infringing, economically developing PG counties, X, Y, and Z. His region had the highest rate of maternal mortality. That means when our children, our young ladies go to the hospital, they die from birth. It was one of the least in the work in the country. It was very effective. So to the question, what do we change a better narrative? We have to be more engaged in civics and understand that government means who gets what, where, and why, or how. Right? That's the fact. I think there's like this theme in this room where we just have to tighten up our bootstrap and just get it. And that's important. You should type. Get to it, black man. You should. We talk about something that's larger, that's more communal or community. We have to look at how communities do develop. It has a lot to do with government, how they interact, and how they allow resources to go into environment. So that's what I wanted to say. I know I'm talking long-winded, but shout out to you, brothers. I love you to death. But I'm getting to it, and I'm a community organizer, and I'm with it. And shout out to my brother D Negro. I don't know if we got beef, but shout out my brother.
Hey, JV, I appreciate that. Hey, I want to go back to HB because you didn't get opportunity to address the titles. Okay, you just jumped on in here, so I'm gonna go on back to you and let you give your little submission to the title and everything. Is that all right? You want to do that? HB?
I'm sorry. Give me 3 minutes.
Okay. All right. And I'm glad HB came out and nipped that nonsense because I was clowning a little bit because I just wanted to. I was digging in for a reason, but HB, yeah, thank you, HB, because I actually was just I was nitpicking, nitpicking intentionally.
Yeah, but in reality, that's what he was doing.
I know that. I knew that too.
Instead of just being basic with the conversation, he's got to come in and give all the show us how smart he is. I mean, we know you smart, bruh. We know how smart you are.
Yeah. I was just, I know Joe. I know Joe. You was allowing me to do it for a reason and everything. You knew what I was doing and everything. But HB, I'm glad he got in. I think Carl.
I was with HB too. I was like, man, this is the dumbest. Why are we even going? Because we know what we mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, literally, if we talking on code, quote unquote on code, we know what we mean. Stop playing.
Stop playing. Good God. Yeah, there's like some conversations, some things we just really don't need to go down. Okay, come on, man. Can we all just get along and move on? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta know.
Tell him to cut the check.
Hey, you ready, HB? You ready to reach
He might be multitasking.
No. Yeah, I am. I'm trying to get them to settle down from it.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles, you want to jump in here?
Yeah, he'll raise his hand when he's ready.
Yeah, he raised his hand when he's ready. Okay. And let's see, John. Yeah, what's up, John? Yeah. I'm starting to realize that there is a lot. When I wrote it in my book, Unlearn to Relearn, man, the more I wake up, John, realize how powerful that unlearn to relearn. There is a tremendous amount of unlearning we need to let go. You just need to let that shit go. Let it go. If it ain't produced no fruits, ain't done a damn thing for you, you ain't saw anything come out, you need to that thinking or whatever it is. If you ain't got nothing out of it by now, you need to let that shit go. Okay. You need to let it go, bury it, dig a hole, and start building on something new. Okay. Unlearn to relearn. It's a primary conversation that I talk about in my book. The need to unlearn. There is some stuff, and I'm only talking to us culturally, and I think John would agree. There's some, and I'm gonna say it like, there's some shit, and I'm talking about some black shit. When I say BS, we got some BS black shit that we need to drop it off. We need to get rid of it. Okay, it's gonna be the kryptonite to us. Okay, and moving forward. Really, we are so indoctrinated in that color construct that this country had put together and everything that if we don't learn, and it's our responsibility, no one can be able to do it for us. We can't look to nobody else. We gonna have to, and it's gonna have to start with our women are looking for us to take the lead and drop off some shit. We need to drop off some shit. We need to unlearn and relearn and go in another direction and some stuff right. All that stuff. If you know it hadn't worked, ain't produced no fruits, ain't done nothing. It is called you are crazy in hell. Continue repeating the same dumb shit that ain't got you no fruits, but you still trying to hold on to it because you mad at somebody and whoop wop whatever the case is, but you want to hold on to it, but it ain't produced no fruits. You need to drop that crap off. We got a lot of stuff we need to drop off. I'm keeping that 100. You want to say something, Negro?
Yeah. Do you know where you might have gotten that quote from? The
What quote?
to learn, unlearn, and relearn type of thing going on.
I don't remember where I got it from. I just started using it. How long have I been using that, Joe?
Okay, so one of the guys who actually uses that concept, his name is Alvin Toffer.
Is that right?
He said who stated the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Put that in my. Send that to me.
Yeah. So that's kind of the origin, because I was like, yo, where, like nothing's never new underneath the sun.
And
right?
I agree with that. Absolutely.
So, and that's not the only other one. There's other quotes that were similar. Alan Kay and also Adam Grant that highlights the ability in a changing world requires a capacity to unlearn, to consciously update one's knowledge and perspective.
Amen.
So that was more or less. I was like, where's this origin coming from? Because I'm more of an origin type of guy. Because I try to stick more to the alignment of, I would say, other Negroes, other Black American folks. When I look at other intellectual type of things, I normally don't like dabbling with the other ethnic groups, because I believe in delineation to the highest form, even intellectually, even where we even get our information from. So, like, that's kind of.
I would love to challenge you on that, but we ain't gonna do that right now. The only reason I love to challenge that, that, is because I worked in the as a surgical technologist and working in neurosurgery was my specialty.
I'm just a poor man's investigator, so I don't know if I can.
Yeah, but I was just the fact that I tell you that I was in neurosurgery and I worked in the operating room with neurosurgeons, that should tell you, because neurosurgeons are some of the most intelligent people to be in the room with and to deal with and everything, and to work with them in surgery. They intimidate people. I mean, the reason I got interested in doing neurosurgery, because I knew that if I mastered being in neurosurgery, I was going, and I'm gonna keep it 100. It was all about getting my respect, and I knew it was a dominant environment, where what I call the dominated of the European environment. Everybody was intimidated by neuro. And I said, as a military guy, I'm going to master neuro. I'm going to be the baddest neuro person in the damn room. Okay. And I did. So to do that, you have to win the trust, respect, and confidence to even be in their room. Y'all understand?
Can I have a question? So it sounds like some Ben Carson stuff.
Yeah. I met Ben Carson too. Yeah, Ben Carson is I met his wife. That's another story. But to get to know, all I'm going to say, I met Ben Carson twice. I got pictures with him. But you know how it says, if you really want to know someone, this is a professional thing. What I'm about, if you really want to know a person, find out to get to know the closest person to them. So what was happening? I couldn't get around. It was so many people. It was so many people around there. They were talking to him. So I saw his wife, Candy, over there. Not very many people around. So y'all got to know who I am. Yeah, Joe, I love talking to the women, right? So I got skills in that. I got skills in that department, all right?
Dirty as hell.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got skills talking to the ladies, okay?
So wait a minute, you're a womanizer? You're womanizing women?
Yeah, but don't go. Listen, just be quiet.
You got to the man by getting to his white followers. That's cold blood.
Hey. It's
Yeah, I'm keeping
called
my girlfriend away from you, man.
It's called business, brother. You get to know people, okay? So I went over there and got to talking to Candy, okay? Just talking to her, just having a general conversation. I learned so much about Dr. Carson, okay, through his wife, okay? Just in conversation. The same thing, Joe, if they were to come and meet Jackie, right? You will learn more about me through Jackie, okay, than spending time just talking to me, okay? And I've had partners who have come and spent time in my home and everything, and I left and messed around and left them there with my wife and I had a couple one dude, Andy, I had to take him home. He said, brother, he said, I'm never gonna do anything to have Jackie get upset at me. Like say, because I do not want Jackie to be mad at me. Okay. Because when Jackie's mad at me, I know she's gonna let you know. Okay. And I like, what happened? What happened? I came back and asked my wife. She said, no, we just talked. And it's a true thing. If you want to know.
That's grown man stuff, though.
That's grown. Yeah. If you want to know about a man, it's the same thing about his friends. You know a man. You want to know something about another man? Find out who his friends is. Spend time around his friends. Those that you call him friends, okay? That's my partner. Oh, that's me, Sean. Oh, no, I know him. See, y'all done have him call me and go, I had some young guys. Let me say this to you, Joe. You know where I'm going with this. I had some young guys. Hey, brother Meeshan, I can't afford to let other people know we're friends because the friends that I'm trying to get to know, I can't afford to let them know that I know you. I'm like, the hell you talking about? Because I'm toxic. Everybody that knows me, I'm toxic, okay? I'm either going to find out. So there's a lot of people in Louisville, Kentucky got problems with me. I had, you know who I'm, you know these young guys, right? I had these 3-4 brothers come over to, and they thought they were being slick, saying something slick. I'm listening to them. Brother Meeshan, I can't let other people know we friends because I don't want them to know because, man, people got problems with you, man, and I don't want to. I said, brother, listen up, man. If you don't want them to know that we know one another, that's fine. You let it do what it do, okay? You just let it do what it do, all right? Because my friends, my partners, those are my friends, they don't do that crap. They stand in the gap and say, nah, I'm friends with me, so I don't give a goddamn what your problem is. It ain't my problem. Okay, that's your problem, okay? And that's how men really work together. Alpha men communicate with one another. And with my wife, okay, y'all think y'all trying to turn something that I did. No, man, I went and spent some time with my man, and everything I needed to know about Dr. Carson, and I'm not about to go into it because it's not your business, it's my business. I learned from spending time with his wife.
So you're getting the backdoor entrance into end up not being direct with the man, but you went through the woman. Man, you sound like the snake in the garden.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You ain't thinking grown man stuff because grown men, we ain't worried about stuff like that. You taking it to some.
You taking it to some childish, immature,
Yeah,
ideology point of view. They ain't got to do with that. But
so
see,
the Bible,
this is above your pay grade, bro.
So the Bible is all that, man. I'm talking about. I got that from the word, man. Like I'm just saying, it seems a little scaly to me. It just seems a little scaly to me. That's all.
Again, I'm just above your pay grade, bro. You're above your pay grade. Hey, John, you want to come up and say something, man?
Hey, greetings, everybody. I did, man. That role you just played right there. That other person, man. That was funny as hell, man. Boy, you got character, man. I never heard. I said, "Is that me, son?" Yeah.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. I got skills, brother. I got skills.
But I had a question for Negro, brother. How you doing? I had a question for you. I want to yield and then listen to you explain it. So, have you ever heard of the Pangea map?
I heard of it, but like again, like that aspect of the history is not my strong suit. But can you elaborate? Like, can you jog my memory?
Okay. So, if you look up Pangea, PANGEA map. So it was when all the continents was connected.
Yeah, and they talking about it kind of stems from the Great Bang Theory and other things of that nature. Am I correct?
Repeat that again. The Great what?
I'd say it kind of stems from like the Great Bang Theory and other things of that nature, and it says that that's how the continents spread across the whole entire world. It was like one big landmass. Like, am I correct?
No, I never heard of that term, but I'm not sure. But the continent is always moving. This continent is always moving. So my point is that I thought maybe you would have heard of it. I thought, because I just wanted to hear your explanation.
No, I don't. Man, my background is in investigation and criminality. I have nothing to deal with. And if I do talk about things from a historical lens, is dealing with the origins of criminality and the behavior.
Gotcha.
Not more or less from like a history context. Even my book is kind of set up in that format. Like
gotcha.
So you actually kind of went left field with me.
Gotcha. No problem.
And I'm not afraid to admit to say, hey, if I don't know something, I don't know something. Shoot, I can't know everything, dude.
Right. Yeah. I just thought maybe you could elaborate and where that understanding is about the Pangea map.
That's actually the first time I've ever heard Negro not know something. Honestly,
I can admit that I don't know something. Like, dang, man, like
I didn't know, bro. I mean, I'm just saying I didn't know. I didn't know you didn't know things.
That's not what I didn't go to school for geography. I didn't go to school for that aspect of history, so I wouldn't know all like the ins and outs of that.
Hey, John, can you speak to the title with family business so open? What do we do to change, control a better narrative?
Yeah, John, will you give us your wisdom on that, bro?
With family business so open, what can we do to change / control a better narrative? Let me, it's interesting. I think we've been talking about this for the last few days. It's kind of sort of the same, when it comes to, and I'm not sure where to go with this because that's kind of compact, right? That's kind of packed. Can you tell me specific what this actually means?
So when I posted this title, the idea was family business. All right, that's what a lot of people call it. They say keep family business. So when it came to the whole CK thing, we saying that short for Charlie Kirk, but when it came to the whole not Calvin Klein thing, then it was all about, hey, I've had people say this to me that, hey, some of the stuff that he was talking about is family business, meaning the collective, meaning us melanated folk here in America. So it shouldn't be put out there in the public. But what I'm thinking is, well, our family business is exploited out there in the public anyway. I mean, it's a whole lot of twerking. There's a whole lot of talking about the worst of the worst things in music and things of that nature. There's a lot of, when you look at the news, you look at social media, when it comes to us, they portray us like they show the worst of us, right? That's what's news. That's what makes social media the worst of us, as opposed to our excellence and all the great things that we do. Like, you would think that a company like the NAACP would filter all type of excellence and stories and things, excellent stories of us to the media, but that's not happening, right? The media, social media, everything we see about us is like the worst of the worst. So since our family business, with our family business, all of that worst of the worst, so open out in public, what do we do to change or control a better narrative for us as a people? How do we focus on getting a better narrative out there about us versus the narrative that we this, that, and the other, and we're not excellent?
Oh, gotcha. I understand now. You know, let me tell you, we didn't get here easy. The narrative that's been wrapped around us from other people's vision of us or how they see us, it's been worn out. The used to feel sorry for us is kind of worn out. And so you're talking about quite a few years to get here. And I think, you know, Mishan, how we remember how the 60s were, how men were back then, how women were back then, how family was important to Black men. I mean, literally back then, you wasn't a man if you didn't have a family. I mean, that was the image, right? That you had a family. My wife, we had these words, right? So we come from that, and we saw our fathers and our fathers' fathers and our uncles and stuff come from that realm. We had a certain different, so we come from a different place. Now, okay, over time, things change for many reasons. But whether we fell for it, went for it, we all still responsible for ourselves. And so when things changed, values changed. We began to value stuff differently. We began to look at stuff differently as media opened up more, and those who controlled the media fed us this information, right? And we began to fall for it. So, but even in that, we were still crafty enough to create our own art and do our own thing, whether it was on Soul Train or whatever the case may be, even though it was on their media platform or, you know, their network to send that show out. So we were still very creative, even in music. You know, we still breaking doors to music. And so every time we break something through, somebody gets in front of us, and then they create a narrative about us that we believe. So then we do it to ourselves. We at the worst standpoint I've ever witnessed in these days and ever before. We are so openly to call our women bitches and hoes in music, and we blast that shit real loud. Kids listening to it in the back. And if you don't know anything about, when we talk about neuroscience, we don't know anything about being actually hypnotized by listening to music and the backgrounds and stuff for children. And so now that creates a generation. And then this whole culture thing that we got going on right now with the Black man against the Black woman, and what is a Black woman, and what is a real woman, what is a real man, especially this homosexual thing, this thing being, people now can say they are something else, you know, we in a whole different world. Back then, you couldn't say that shit. Back then, there was no such thing as no X, Y, Z. You was a man, you was a man. If you was a gay, you was just fucking gay, but you was still a fucking man, right? You ain't gonna come around and say you a woman. And so it wasn't like that, like it is now. Like it is now, it's totally different. And it almost looks psycho, actually, when you're hearing these people who are actually thinking there are women, and they are trying to get in, and they get into women's sports, and they want this respect as a woman. It blows my mind how we got here and how it is so acceptable. So it didn't get here easy. It's going to take a long time to get us out. Only thing I can say is every individual is responsible for itself, no matter where you are, what information you get, and how you move. You're responsible for you, no matter what you calculate and what you learn. It ain't like at that day of death, you could not have done better. So it's up to each and every one of us. It's just that simple. And turn off the other stuff. But we really ain't gonna turn that music off. Our people, for the most part, is gonna listen to that foul music. Look what they're talking about now. The rappers who killing each other, and that's the noise. And these kids right here, if you don't take these kids and pull it from it, then they're going to grow up with that same psychology.
Hey, John. Yeah, man. Other than Carl is older than both of us. We come from that era, and you hit it right on the nose, brother. That we operated in natural alpha nonsense. Okay, not all this weird stuff that's going on now and everything. So you are absolutely right. It's the individual. It's gonna require the individual. You gotta manage and handle your like right now. I'm in my house, in my basement, and everything. My wife upstairs and everything. You know, I'm managing this. This is my castle. You know, I'm managing it, and we're gonna have to find people who we got to find culturally. We got to lock arms somehow, some way, and we're gonna have to find that in us working together, make that natural. How you said it, John? You called it vibration, or no? You called it another word. What do you say, John? You say something else. Frequency. Yeah, frequency. Yeah, I knew I was gonna get frequency. We gotta lock arms and everything, and find a frequency that works for us, and turn all that other off. Turn it all off and find it. All right, who's next here?
Okay, we got HB and then Negro.
It ain't nothing we could really do to change the narrative besides pull up our pants and stop listening to that. What do you call it? Woogie boogie jungle music. But even if we were to do that collective as a people, it's never gonna change the narrative for white folk. They still gonna manufacture stats, and they still gonna, view you as less than a human being, as an animal, as a nigger, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about changing the narrative. I mean, like I said, they're gonna say what they say. You know a lot of people. I'm pretty sure a lot of us have family and friends that are American Negroes that may be what you see in the videos, this, that, and other. Even so much as drug addicts, drug dealers. We know them personally, and we can't necessarily say that they are bad people. A lot of people can't look at them and necessarily say they are bad people if you know them. They just living them their lives, freely as Americans. Whether you know, it's crazy too because people that listen, everybody that listen to that type of music or watch these type of movies and stuff doesn't necessarily act on that stuff. We can't just keep contributing things to music. If you listen to white folk music and watch their movies, it's just as filthy and nasty as ever. As a matter of fact, they encourage fellow whites to kill themselves. You know what I'm saying? The only way that I would truly combat whatever they get negative they got to say about us is to combat it with they shit. Y'all motherfuckers just as filthy. Asians just as filthy. Hispanics just as filthy. And social media opened that up too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't let them take our culture to weaponize us. I could never do that. You know what I'm saying? Simply because all people that may act a certain way on camera doesn't mean that they are bad people. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, followers, you had a doctor that was listening to that Jungle Monkey, jungle. What do y'all call it? Jungle boogie woogie stuff. This was your doctor, and I asked you, well, this is, did you want to change your doctor? And you said no because he's a good doctor. This is what you remember that?
What are you talking about? You talking about the guy that was in the orthopedic surgeon that was playing the filthy music?
Yeah, playing that hippity bop music that you.
I told him I needed him to stop playing that music, and
Right.
he told me that I told him I said that music is offensive to me. You playing that filthy. I don't you looking at me just because of the color of my skin, and you think that I'm down with that. Women call him. No, I'm not down
But
with all
my
that.
point is saying that because I did ask you following that, I did ask you, did you change doctors as a result? And you said no, and you
I could,
recognized that he was a good doctor.
remember, I said I'm a surgical technologist. You asked me, did I change? I could, if I would have tried to walk out of that room, I would have let I would have been held accountable for walking out on the. We was doing surgery, man. We had surgeries, okay. So I couldn't just walk out the door. If I
you
was
were working with him. No, I'm sorry. I thought, okay, I
yeah,
misunderstood
nah,
that because I
yeah.
thought you
I
were a
was
patient.
assigned that
Right.
room
Okay. I
in
got you.
surgery, okay.
No, I
There is
understand.
no way if I would have walked out, even if even if I wanted to say he done me wrong, I would have found what dereliction of duty, okay.
Right.
I
No,
was
the followers. I was thinking at the time that
okay.
you were a patient, but at
No,
the same time, this is a colleague of yours, right?
yeah, he's a colleague. He
And
was a colleague.
did his choice of music, whether you like it or not, did his choice of music affect his ability on the job?
Oh no. He was one of the best orthopedic surgeons in the hospital.
So
But
that's what we got to. So that's what we got to look at when
no,
people dog people for
no.
listening to certain music.
Hold up. This is where. Let me explain something to you. If you got to be careful and allowing that narrative, what you just trying to make it seem like just
Why?
because someone is a functioning person in their in whatever they're doing and everything, that doesn't mean that their functionality gets to disrespect my existence. Okay. Now you done made that nonsense up. All right. Just because you're a
But
functioning.
Well, I think what he's trying to say is that it doesn't.
using that as an
He's trying to say you
example
can't
of
point it towards the music all the time because here you got a
yeah,
functioning
music or
doctor
culture.
that works
You
fine.
can't.
His
You
behavior,
can't. You
but
can't.
see, I can still say his behavior, okay, was not affected by the music.
This the old shit, man. This the old shit.
Yeah,
I got you though.
His behavior was not affected, but his mannerism, his approach was that he thought he was above everybody else. Okay, and if you don't check individuals that operate in that manner, they will, and that's what. And I'm about to say something, okay, because I witnessed you do this already. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead. See, uh, uh, a lot of us, when every time someone of European or whatever coming, we don't want them in our space. We don't want them around us and everything and everything. And you show a sense that whenever they come in the room, okay, or whenever they're around, all of a sudden, you don't change the atmosphere, doesn't change. And, oh no, everybody in uproar.
White folk make me really, really uncomfortable to the
Yeah,
point where my
I
elbow
witnessed
itch
it.
and I
I
can't
actually
take it.
I know.
I
I
can't
witnessed
stand it.
it. I know. I witnessed it
And
in
they
the
fucking
space.
stink.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I witnessed that. But let me explain something to you. That's something that you got to overcome. Okay, and if you don't want to overcome it, then it's going to always be a problem. It's always going to be a problem
Always be a problem to who?
to you.
How you figure?
It's brother. It's always going to be a problem. You're going to be a bank loan, okay,
Mm-hmm.
or trying to do something or whatever case is. You're going to always see them based on the color of their skin. That's a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
Well,
That's a
I've
problem.
been all right so far for the last
Yeah, no,
37 years.
it's cool. It's cool. But I saw you. I saw how you operated. Just because someone of European descent, someone who either mixed and came into the space and everything.
You mean
That
if I
person,
give them the same energy? If
yeah.
because two wrongs don't make a right, right?
I said humanity is humanity. I treat people.
Right.
I treat people in the
But they're
humanity
not
that I like
humans
to
to
be
me.
treated.
They're
Okay.
not humans to me though.
Well,
That's
okay.
me
Because see,
personally. I don't
okay.
view them as human beings.
Okay, so all right.
I don't even
So
view
you're
them as
doing
3/5 of human beings.
you're doing what their ancestors. You're doing what
This is
their
my
ancestors.
this is my personal view. You may
I
view them as
know, but
human
you do it.
beings.
But
You may
that's
view
why I
them
said
as a
Are you
two
quarter
trying
wrongs
to
of
don't
say
make a
human
reverse
right.
being. You may
racism?
view them as 50%.
Followers
I
saying
don't know,
reverse
but I
racism?
don't. This is just me personally.
I
Maybe
no,
I'm
I know.
off.
I'm saying
I'll
it's
find out when
you.
my day comes, but I don't view them
Hey,
as human beings.
yeah, I
Okay, you
mean
don't see them as
everybody
human beings. Okay.
can be a racist if they want to.
Yeah.
I have never committed a single
I
racist
gotta
act
push
against
back on
anybody
that.
in my life. I never committed a racist act. I never harmed anybody from
You know what
anything.
you know
I've
what
never
racism.
prevented. I've
You
never
know what
prevented
racism
anything.
is.
I've never done a damn
You
thing
know
to
the
white folk.
definition of
Nothing.
racism.
As a matter of fact, I'm very respectful to white folk that show respect to me.
Yeah, but you know what racism is.
They do live in my world. You know that, followers, right?
Hey, I just I don't know if they live in your world or not. I
They
just
do.
witnessed and experienced your interaction
Well,
with
in these
someone with
spaces, it's kind of different because we already have an issue with privacy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You would think sometimes in the space that's
But
generally a Negro subject that this could be our time to finally, not to have to include the whites. That's just me and how I operate. But I don't have, on my program, I've had several whites come to my program, and we've had very respectable conversations.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
Can
Who's
I
giving you
chime in
your
on
O back? You
something?
got two O's back followers because you tried some bullshit and I don't like it.
Hey, no. I'm a brother. You gotta like
That's
it,
that
brother.
white sneaky deceit shit.
Yeah,
You tried the
no.
right way the right quick.
I'm a very intentional person in things that I do, especially because I have
You need to get the
navigated
full
and
damn cone back then,
yeah,
man. What the hell?
I have navigated in so many spaces, man, and have rise out of. So I'm very intentional in
Listen,
things.
followers, I listen. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a disrespectful person at all.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying? But in certain spaces, and that's just not me. You don't come to my spaces. I rarely have them up here. But in other people's spaces, I'm pretty familiar who they like and wouldn't like up there.
Okay.
So it's not an issue for me to just get them up out of there. We all in the same agreement. I mean, do you want white folk in your business all the time? Isn't this the subject?
I don't care. They can be there. I'm not bothered by them. If I invite them
When
there,
you
that's okay.
discuss strategy for progression for Negroes, you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, we
right?
have spoken to the idea that we don't need to have them
This is why
here
he got that
all
blanket
the
party.
time.
And it's not even good. It's not even
How
disrespect. Because I'm gonna tell
Negro,
you, to be honest with you,
a
I've
Negro,
known
don't
some.
talk on
I've known
things you
some.
don't know anything about, bro. How I
I've
got
known
that
some.
blanket party had nothing to do with this,
Let
bro.
me tell you
See,
something. I've known some kind white folk. I've known some white folk that has been kind to me. I've known some white folk that is very good, but it's not disrespectful for us to want to have conversations to ourselves.
oh no,
You know
no,
what I'm
no.
saying?
And I
And
was
I
only
don't, I
speaking
don't, I don't, I
to
don't
what he
mistreat
said
them.
Oh, I
about
agree
them
with
not
that.
being
Oh, I
human.
agree with that. Oh,
Well, they're not human to me. I'll stick with that. You know what
no,
I'm saying? But
I treat people based on humanity, not that you very. I don't. I treat them. I treat people based on humanity, man. I don't treat people. Then I base it on cultural identity. If I got something that I got to do that I just don't, it's based on my cultural things. I've had meetings where we said, nah, we don't want to, and it's a cultural thing with me. And I care less about the color
I
of the
mean,
skin.
God bless you. You know.
Okay,
No,
Let's get to the hands.
Negro has his hand up. Let's go to the Negro.
Did you watch their V2?
y'all like clowning, bro. Y'all clowns, bro.
No, just want to see how far this went. Now,
Yeah,
they tip you?
you clowning, bro. You clowning.
Well,
You
you-
doing that? You clowning,
I-
bro.
I
Just like
don't want to make
Negro,
this the
just like
HBK
Negro,
and
I can tell
follower
Negro.
show.
I like Negro.
so I have
Negro, you give
Go
Negro a little
ahead.
piece of information and everything. Now you want to use it and throw it as the backdraft. You're talking about my blanket party. You mean you funny, man? You
No, I
funny.
just wanted. I just want.
So I got a
just want to
question.
make sure.
Go ahead,
I have
ask your
Nobody could
question,
take care of
bro.
a white like a Negro.
Okay, you can go ahead because I got to post up what I want to talk about. So one of the things I wanted to ask is, do you think bias and racism is the same thing? Followers, Carlin, and I Ain't Your Black. You guys got real quiet. I know y'all looking it up right now.
No, I'm not going to go into your definitions.
No, it's not my definition. It's Webster. It's Webster that I'm reading.
There is personal racism. Personal racism, someone thinking they're superior or inferior to another race of people. But again, let me preface this with this, Negro. I don't believe in a race construct. I believe there's only one race, the human race. Therefore, all that would be null and void. But
No, you're miscuing.
Wait a minute. But because I live in America, there is a construct called race. Therefore, there's a group of people who believe that they are superior than another group of people. That's personal racism. Now, there is institutional racism, there's systemic racism. So I hope I answered your question.
I got a question for you on that institutional racism, and I'm gonna add physical racism too.
Hey,
Do
bro, you
Negroes
gotta,
harm?
hey, hold on. You gotta raise your hand, bro. That's what we're trying to do. You gotta raise your hand if you wanna speak.
I just got one quick question. Do
Bro,
Negroes harm
come on.
white folk
That's
on the basis of the
disrespectful to
color of their
everybody
skin?
else.
Do they harm Negroes on the basis of the color?
Okay, HB, Negro have the floor.
Go ahead, Negro. Finish up.
It's okay. I was actually posting up the definitions, right? The reason why I was asking in regards to this topic is because you said that everybody's can be racist, and I can't entirely endorse that. I could say that everybody can be biased. That could be true. Some groups can be biased and more so, but the only people that can be racist is white people in the system of white supremacy. So that was the reason why I was asking these precursor conversations, because these are the talking points that they use to discredit the harms that have been placed against Negro Black American people as an ethnic group. That's why it's very divisive when I hear somebody paints a narrative that Black American people can be racist. Bias, yes. Racist, no.
So
I don't know what it is when you call somebody less than a human.
I don't know what that is.
Wait, because the thing is, he did not implement any actual laws to make white people less than human. That's his own biased opinion. There's a difference. And if you can't understand the difference, that's the reason why I was getting the definition.
You know what?
Squared away.
Let's make a new rule. Anytime you ever want to think of anything, run it by the Negro first. Just whenever you have a thought, just run it by the Negro first, and then that way you'll be on code with the collective.
You know, with the collective.
Wait, no, don't use me as the gatekeeper for blackness.
Brother,
no, I'm just using. Wait.
I like what Joe just said. I just like what Joe just said.
Wait.
Because you do it all the time, dude. I mean,
wait.
You do it all the time.
First of all, you said that I was creating my own definitions, implying that I was just. That's not true.
No. You
true.
create
and
the
I
code.
took screenshots.
No. You create the code. No, you make a general. You make a general statement. I was born in 1961, and I came before you. And I ain't never heard all this stuff you be dropping and everything. So this stuff, and you make it seem like it's some cultural code that I'm missing.
Well, you did say that you was not around us like that. So yeah, you might have missed the cultural code.
but I don't know anybody
there. That's there. So this is what it says. No, I said when I asked, is bias defined as the same as racism? It says no. Bias and racism are not the same, although they're related. Bias is a broader term for an inclination of prejudice for or against someone or something, while racism is a specific form of prejudice, bias, or discrimination directed against someone based on their race.
So
there is a difference.
Wait. So totally by the color of our skin, you're saying that Black people can't be racist.
I'm saying that Black people cannot be racist because there are parts that goes along with that. The parts of it is when he brought up about the systematic components. So that goes into tie into systematic impact. What systematic impact do Black people as a collective have against the white dominant society?
So you also believe
no. Can you answer that question?
That Black people have no Black people have no power. Question. So Black people have no power over themselves.
I didn't go that far. I just said, show me the systematic impact that Black people have on white people. I think that is a fair question if you're saying that we're all racist and we're all equal.
So you do not have the power to be racist against nobody else. No one, you don't have no, just you, right? Just you. You don't have the power, the ability to be racist against anybody else.
No, I don't think so. I could be biased all day long, but my biases is not going to impact. Has no impact on the levels of racism.
So have you ever been in charge of anything?
Wait, and just for the record, it's not me just saying that. That's looking up the words
Have
in
you
the
ever been in
definition.
charge of anything?
I have been in charge of things, but I still have somebody that I still report to that could be
No.
possibly higher.
Have you ever been the person? You are the everything stops with you. You did.
I'm going to say that may be very difficult in the system that we live in, because even
Have
if you
you ever
create a
experienced
business,
that? Have you had
you're
multiple
cutting me
people
off, and I want to
as-
highlight something as an example, right? So even if you have a business, you're still beholden to state and federal regulations. So therefore, somebody is still over something that you create, sir. So that's what I mean. You're looking at it
Ooh,
from a
Lord.
very narrow,
So
shallow-minded, and I don't think you're grasping the depths nor the width on the talking point that I'm talking about.
So in they listening to you, there is never a time in my whole entire life, because in America, I can never, ever, ever be racist against anybody because I'm born here in this white man system, is what you're telling me, right?
I'm saying that go ahead and act your racism and see what happens and see how far you get.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Well, we are getting to that time, and you know, we go strong, but we don't go long. So you know, tell your girl. With that in mind, it is about that time. We're gonna do these submissions real quick. If there's anybody that wants to give a last word before we bounce, with family business so open, what do we do to change or control a better narrative? Meaning, with our stuff all out in the streets, it's been exploited for years. They started back. I mean, they started way back, but rappers came along and they was got the contracts and them 360 deals and next thing you know, we started talking a little crazy because the record company said, "Hey, if you give us the real, then you'll make more money." So I'm just saying, if you want to speak to that real quick, give your last submission before we go. And tomorrow, I think we need to lighten it up tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna talk about what have you done or what are you doing to create something to help the collective, to move people forward. What are you doing? What have you done? There's some authors out here. So some of y'all are authors. So y'all have already done things like that. Some of y'all got businesses. You're creating products. I want to talk about that, because at the same time, I want to talk about how some of us can be a help to the other of us in our different facets of business, product creation, or what have you. All right, so we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. But anybody want to go up first, real quick? Let's see.
Hey, John, you want to say something?
Last submission.
No, I'm driving right now. I'm just listening.
Cool. All right. Well, look, Negro, go ahead.
No, Negro bounced. He bounced.
Oh, he bounced. Okay. All right. Well,
anybody else want to come up and say anything?
Dukester, you always got some good something to say, bro. You want to say something before we go?
Let me say this, good space. What do we do to change, control a better narrative? I think we are seeing it happen before our eyes. I think technology is allowing us to take control of our narrative and to get that narrative out to the collective, the community. So I see technology is assisting us on controlling a better narrative for our people. So these are exciting times, and I am glad to be a part of it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.
I appreciate you,
absolutely,
man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Deuster, you want to say something?
Yeah, salute to the panel. So you guys basically saying, with the family business so open, like you mean like the black family business?
Yeah, like our stuff is out in the streets. Like they exploit us, and everything that's wrong that we do is all out in the streets. How do we get a better handle to control the narrative moving forward, so that our Black excellence could be what is seen in the streets more than anything else.
Okay, yeah. Basically, to start controlling our own narrative. Stop. Like when somebody do good, when you see Black excellence, start posting it, start sharing it. When you see Black students graduate from school, doing good things, you gotta start promoting that, because we always like to promote ourselves being degenerate, fighting and smoking and twerking and things like that. So us having a YouTube and devices like this, we can control the narrative a little more better, because everybody not going to Hollywood no more and going to the movies, and you got to turn on TV at 8 o'clock. It ain't like that really no more. We're starting to step away from that as a society. So that's kind of better for us as a people, so we can start showing our greatness and go back to who we really are as a people. Because a lot of our things been infiltrated. Like when rap music first started and stuff like that, we wasn't talking about bitches and hoes and all this. You had certain individuals, certain people, like the Jewish people, certain white people that came in and manipulated the music. You know, they wanted the music to go this way. Instead of talking about positive things, they wanted to go this way. So now that we kind of got like our own devices and how we can just meet up like how we meeting with each other right now and talk about things like this, that's a good start for our community. So I think we just got to start sharing it and just start talking about our greatness more. You know, 'cause we is great as a people. We just need to start highlighting it more. Everybody always want to talk about Black people. They always tend to talk about the bad and not the good. There's a lot of good that's come from Black people. You know what I'm saying? So I just think we should start sharing it, start talking about it more, and start putting it out there.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So with that being said, looks like we coming to an end. Unc, you want to say something before we go?
I want to say thanks for all of you all for being here. This show is always a spinoff from the book I'm Not Your Black America. I'm Not Your Black America. You can also get a copy of my book, Time to Unlearn to Relearn, Time to Unlearn to Relearn. And I am a new second author of my other book, I Am Messiah. What a very good conversation. And Joe, thank you for putting this together, man. And I see us, we will be here tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Go ahead, Joe.
Absolutely. I definitely just even with what Carl and Dukester said, Carl is saying we're seeing it. Dukester is saying, hey, let's keep it moving. Let's make sure that we share it, all that good stuff. I think that's important, because I see, even when it comes to sharing the news about an incident and things of that nature, just think about that. You are putting a thought out there to people. And so ultimately, now you taking people who could be focused and concentrated on creating something, on moving forward, and you yourself are taking it and putting this negative news out there about some incident that you can't change, you can't fix it. It's already happened. It's done. As opposed to people focusing on these positive, excellent things. So, hey, if you are that type of person, you're a media personality or whatever, you a reporter or whatever, you always putting that stuff out for every hanging, lynching, whatever happens, you putting it out. Guess what? Put twice amount for every one that you do, put out 2 of some Black excellence that you see out there. And that right there, in conjunction with what these brothers are saying, will definitely help change the perspective. So I'm with all of that. Again, this is the I Ain't Your Black show. This is a podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. So tomorrow, again, It's yours truly, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Meeshawn. And I Ain't Your Black. We'll see you 7 p.m. tomorrow. We're always here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Peace.
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insight, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And now, the hosts of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just Ask Joe and Uncle Meeshawn. We got a mean like
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
When black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough